Hello everybody, welcome to What Culture Gaming. I'm Scott, I'm joined by Josh.
Hello Scott.
Hello! Now initially we reported on this way back, I think it was in December, maybe it was at the start of the year, but basically...
December.
Devil May Cry 5 has been on the cards for a while. There was a huge leak on ResetEra, but actually before that there was a leak on a voice actor called Niels Hognestad's CV, and that was even longer ago. Again, we've talked about this before, but for the longest time we've kind of known that Capcom were returning to Devil May Cry. They've also said that they're putting out two AAA?
Two major titles before the end of the fiscal year.
Yes, and so that just also continued to line up. The most recent thing now is that Devil May Cry has been listed as on a retail site, and it just basically seems that this is going to be happening.
This is like gaming's worst kept secret ever. We've been talking about this in the office for months, just on the assumption that it has been confirmed, and it takes news like this to make me remember that they haven't actually announced it.
I know.
So far,
it's one of those things where the franchise itself, obviously, anyone who grew up with the series on the PS2 has a very vivid idea of what Devil May Cry is, and even something like Devil May Cry 2 kind of shook the foundations of it. 3 got things back together, 4 was fine, and then the reboot in 2013 was one of the most divisive things ever. And for me, I'm definitely on the negative side. I thought it was a bit naff. Right. But the new game, it's going to be developed by Capcom. If the leak is correct from ResetEra, you can check out our other video because we have actually broke all these things down. It seems that you'll be returning to playing as Dante. It'll be old school Dante. It's set after Devil May Cry 4, but before Devil May Cry 2, because he's not as, shoegazing as he is in 2. But you'll also be playing as Virgil, and there's another, Nero's going to be returning as well. And gameplay-wise, it's basically going to go back to the style system, which we saw Devil May Cry 3 get used to, where you pick different special abilities, and I think DMC 2 had it so you could pick them on the fly. There's been different ways that the developers have experimented with widening his moveset. But basically, it's a return to one of the finest characters of all gaming.
You bloody love Dante, don't you?
Oh, man, he's the absolute best, isn't he?
Look at this t-shirt.
I don't even know if you can make out this shirt, but I happen to wear a Dante shirt today.
For me, it's so interesting. The most interesting tidbit is that it's going to be a more serious approach to the character, which I know might be divisive, but that worked really well for God of War and got me interested in a series I may have otherwise never really picked up. Because I played God of War, but was never into it as much as you were, I assume.
Yeah, it's
the
just
same as been for Devil May Cry so far. I really enjoyed 4. I played some of the older ones, but again, not through to completion. So this would be a way to sort of pull players like me back in on the outside.
The thing that's strange because part of the ResetEra leak mentioned that it's the most serious Dante's ever been. They said not to be going down the same route as DMC2, but they feel like there's more for the character to do, which assumedly means self-reflection. And I don't know, I like my Dante circa DMC 1 and 3. I like him being over the top and completely cocky and self-assured. I don't need him to be why'd I dye my hair white? Just be you. You don't need, I don't know, it's weird. You said it worked for Kratos, and it absolutely did, but it completely tanked Rico Rodriguez in Just Cause 3. Not all characters need humanizing. Sometimes it's good to just have a good superhero character.
True, but I think there's a way to sort of humanize a character like that without losing the charm or the wit that he had in the older games. You can still be sort of irreverent and cracking jokes and being a badass, but you can do that with a sense of depth or nuance or a kind of compelling narrative that would bring story-driven gamers like me back into the
Yes, and I would assume so. I mean, he's got a lifetime of living as the son of Sparta. He can't die. He's there are angles that you can take, and maybe he becomes more self-assured as how he deals with enemies. I don't think. I mean, one of the leaks mentioned that yes, he's more serious, but he also still has flair and has style and has this sort of carefree attitude towards combat. But it does make me wonder because I don't think, off the top of my head, Capcom have ever written a nuanced, deep character. I don't think that's what they do.
It's not in their wheelhouse usually, is it?
Really.
They are into sort of mechanically driven games, and even when they do bring out outside forces in to sort of make a game as Western audiences are more used to, Resident Evil 7 that had American writers and stuff, and that wasn't really much better than the plot we got
even
in
that
games.
Towards the end.
If anything, it was sort of less compelling because you had in my opinion, you had better scares, but you also didn't have that weird charm that the old Resident Evil games had. It was completely lacking. The main character was the most forgettable main character in all of Resident Evil history, potentially.
Could you think of his name right now?
I couldn't.
No,
he had a cool little jacket, if I recall.
John with a gun. Anyway, I'm not to harp on Resident Evil 7, I absolutely adore that game, but the story side of it, yes, wasn't as accomplished. But yeah, I mean, unless we're forgetting something, Capcom don't seem to have a track record of fleshing out their characters in the most mature or nuanced or deep way. The only other thing that's worth talking about gameplay-wise is that apparently, another part of the leak, pointed out that the game isn't a Musuo game, which tends to be the delineation given to Dynasty Warriors, stuff where you're going up against fields of enemies. It's not like that, but they said that it's worth pointing out that the new DMC will have you up against more enemies than ever. So however that's going to end up changing combat, and maybe you'll have to juggle the style system to take more stuff on. I'm psyched. I'm
good.
game.
I'm pleased you are. I'm interested.
Slightly worried.
Again, Why?
Just because he's going to be all serious and that, isn't he?
He's still going to have jokes. He's going to be the Dante you know and love. He's just going to be a bit serious.
Remember the bit when he played pool by shooting the pool balls with his gun?
He could do that again.
Remember the bit when he like sat on the chair and he like was eating pizza in midair?
He could do it again.
Remember the bit when the camera cut inside his sleeve and it showed his hand going in the trench coat?
I don't remember any of this. But
it was a glorious time.
Is this what I've been missing out on Devil May Cry my entire life? All right,
you know how everyone loves Platinum Games now?
Yeah.
It all comes from that mentality. And that's another thing to point out is that Hideaki Itsuno is returning to the project alongside a dude whose name I can't remember, but he's the cinematographer. He's also a guy that went to Platinum Games for a while and is assumedly coming back to Capcom. But basically, that style of over-the-top action that we now love from Platinum Games, DMC helped pioneer that stuff, and it's about time that DMC reclaimed it. We know that Platinum Games are doing something incredible as well.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see DMC be the ones that sort of get back on that horse.
As long as they don't mess it up.
No, but I guess that'll be a question to hopefully be answered at E3
but like,
when we see more.
Scott, like, because I know the DMC reboot took a lot of flack for completely reinventing the character.
Absolutely killing it.
What if DMC 5 just does the same thing, but like with the Dante you know and love, so it's even more heartbreaking because it's the actual canon.
It can't be worse than in the start of the 2013 one when he puts the little wig lands on him, when he's got brown hair and the wig lands on him, and he looks in the mirror, and all the fans like me went, oh, he's going to make a cool little reference to the trilogy that we all love and we all grew up with, and we'll define our childhoods. And he just went, never in a million years. And it was like, okay then, enough to you, because they try to do their own little rebellious thing, and it was horrible. So I think there's a lot more money into sticking to the things that work. I get that they want to flash the character out, but you need to tick the boxes of the stuff that people want.
Yeah.
There's a whole trilogy there's at least 1, 3, and 4 to reflect back on, especially 1 and 3. And yeah, there's enough groundwork for them to pull from. So here's to Capcom getting it right. There's Devil May Cry's not been Devil May Cry for like over a decade. So it's about time. But you guys can let us know what you think down in the comments below. Are you hyped to see more Devil May Cry? Let us know. I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
I've been Josh from WhatCulture.com.
We'll catch you soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.